Welcome to Turkestan, a place that many of you do not know. And nope, Turkestan is not in Turkey. It is in modern day south of Kazakhstan. Way before the Soviet Union, Turkestan used to be a stretch of land in modern day Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Western China, also known as the Uyghur Autonomous Region. Throughout the centuries, empires fought for this piece of land that was part of the ancient Eastern Silk Road. However, today, Turkestan is a modern, reconstructed city of its previous grandeur in the Silk Road, which is why I visit. Well, I'm so happy that I'm in Turkestan actually. Almaty was quite a city. Yeah. 18 hours on this train, man. It is the longest train journey that I've ever had here. But nevertheless, we are in a historical place, historical land here. Vokzal, which is the train station for Turkestan here. Turkestan is actually not in Turkey, as a couple of people actually misunderstood. It is actually a city here, north of Shymkent in Kazakhstan. Turkestan Temirjoli. Look at this Turkestan train station there. Very historical train station here. And I think it has been refurbished, I'm not sure, but wow, look at these murals here, these paintings, beautiful. And look at all these places that you can go to. You can go to Moscow via Bishkek, here from Moscow to Bishkek. Bishkek to Moscow here. Turkestan to Shymkent. Wow. This looks like it's during the Soviet era there. And right in front of us here, as you exit the Vokzal, the station, you can see here there's a statue here. Let's see. Is this the founder of Turkestan? Or does he play, or she play a prominent role here in Turkestan? Here, not sure here, let's see. Alright, come along with me as we explore Turkestan, a place that a lot of people actually do not want to come, for some reason, I don't know why. But we're going to explore and uncover the past Mongol history in Turkestan, as well as the Islamic history here, which is very prominent here. Спасибо. I spotted a Lada there. A very rare, legendary car in this part of the world. There's the Lada.
Deluxe room, twin.
So I just got my key here to the Silkway Hotel, Boutique Hotel Silkway. And this is the lounge area here, wonderful. And this is where you have your breakfast maybe. It's a fantastic hotel here. I need the morning light to give you a proper tour here. Wow, wonderful bathroom here, like a king's bathroom here. This is fantastic. And this is only about $50 per night here. Slightly less than that actually. I got a discount from booking.com here. Thanks Booking, not sponsored. You know why they put towel down here. Fantastic. This is the best hotel that I've been to in Central Asia here. This definitely triumphed the Hotel Uzbekistan that I've been to. That's me. I need to change to a new jacket here. But look at this. We have the mini bar here, and with the famous Kazakhstan chocolate. So far I'm impressed with this hotel. Look at this nice chandelier here. You have two comfortable beds, and you can get on the bed here easily. Let me remove my bag. We have some comfy chair here. Oh, it's a bit dusty, but let's see what we have on the outside. Not quite a view, but we're gonna close this because it's getting chilly here. Oh, that's how you open it actually. Wow, that is quite a drop here actually. There's pigeons there, and these are all pigeons poop here. Somebody should clean that up here. Minus point. This is a fantastic hotel. Let's see, I'll probably take the one near the window. Very comfortable bed here. Very comfortable bed. Not the best bed, but a very comfortable bed here. Wow. What a start to Turkestan here. Fantastic hotel, fantastic vibe here. Yeah, I'm gonna doze in, get some shower, doze in, and see you guys for some adventure tomorrow. Turkestan is a place that not a lot of tourists actually wants to visit for a lot of reasons. I'm not sure why, but one of the prominent reasons is that there's nothing here actually. It's the least populated area in terms of southern Kazakhstan, in terms of its major cities. It is different from cities like Chimkent or Astana or the old cities of Almaty, whereby you have millions and millions of people here. The population here is very low, and so the town is very quiet. There's nothing you can do here. Well, that's why a lot of people do not want to visit. So I'm just walking by here and look at this modern technology here that we have here. Sprinkler system in the middle of the park here. Turkestan, as well as Central Asia, plays a very dominant role, especially when it comes to Islamic history, Islamic learning, Islamic tradition. Unfortunately, when the Soviets came, it has this traditional revolution, this cultural revolution, whereby Islam is suppressed as like every other religion, like Christianity, so on and so forth. And so modern Central Asia, especially Turkestan, is recovering from its Soviet Islamic repression here. Check out this modern bus stop here with Turkestan symbol here, Turkestan. This seems to be the theme here in Turkestan. Whilst traveling last night to my hotel, I saw that there's a plov shop here, which is very famous here in Central Asia. But apparently it seems to be closed here. It's a Sunday, come on. I want to have some plov here. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Доброе утро. How are you? Как дела?
Fine, thank you, спасибо. Full hotel?
Yes, I want to see the Azure.
Пожалуйста.
Спасибо. Это мой друг в Сингапуре.
Очень рад.
Это Аль-Фараби, да, памятник?
Да, Аль-Фараби. А вот это напротив спортивный комплекс Бекзата Саттарханова. Олимпийский чемпион Сиднея.
А, да.
Реконструкцию сделали сейчас. Вот
Это
отсюда,
большой, да? Это
да, вот отсюда вышел Бекзат Саттарханов наш, боксер.
боксер.
Да.
Боксер.
Олимпийский чемпион Сиднея. Золотой медаль получил в тот момент. Это наш университет. Казахский турецкий университет.
Это, да?
Да, вот это все комплекс. Вот это клиника, казахский турецкий международный. А это университет, база. Все это база международного университета казахского турецкого.
Это старый университет или новая?
Это старый университет.
Старый.
Этот университет был открыт в 1991 году.
So I just got dropped off here at this place whereby there's a fountain, and I've come here at about 12 in the afternoon here for a specific reason, so that I can do my monologue without being interrupted by a lot of people here, because this place will be hustling and bustling in the evening time here. You will have cafes, you will have bars here. Yeah, but this is the Hotel Turkestan, if I'm not mistaken, whatever it is. And you have here, this is Caravanserai Turkestan. Caravanserai Turkestan. I am here Yes, this. Who is this? Means you are here. Alright, there's music here, you can still see. But this is a wonderful area here, very recognizable. A lot of tourists will come here, which is why I'm also here. But they will come here mostly in the evening, whereby it's not as hot as today. The weather here in Turkestan has been really mixed because last night it was severely cold actually. I went out for dinner last night, it was severely cold. But during the day here, it's quite warm, it's quite hot here. So I'm not going to take the boat during this hour, obviously I'll get sunburned, which I have plenty of in Delhi, in India. But we're going to check out this amazing castle-like fortress like here, with a lot of pigeons here. But this is like the main shopping center or the shopping area here in Turkestan. A very posh kind of place here, a lot of Brits would like to come here. Look at this very romantic boat here. If you're a couple, you definitely can bring your wife or your spouse here, but not your flings, definitely. But look at this amazing building here. I'm not sure, is this modern or this was built in the, I don't know, 800 years ago or the 12th centuries. Because this city, Turkestan, the Islamic part of it was actually founded about 800 years ago here. And well, that might not be actually accurate actually, because Islam has been spreading in Central Asia ever since the early conquest of Islam. But when it comes to the prominent role Islam played in Central Asia, that is actually quite, you can say, about 400, 500 years after the initial conquest by the Arabs here. Man, this place is really beautiful actually. And it will be even more beautiful at night here. Very hot day here, so we're gonna have some coffee, sit for a bit here. A lot of the shops here are closed. Well, it's not unexpected because this area is only this area will be crowded only at night here. But we're gonna have some coffee here, and let's see. Very beautiful river here, which you can take boat rides here. Check out all these places here. The buildings here in this part of the world, in Central Asia, especially south of Central Asia here, by the former Bukharan Empire, the former Khoja Empire dynasty here. The buildings here are very Persian influenced, because obviously the Persians, they conquered, especially during the Ismaili dynasties, the Safavid dynasty, they conquered here a lot of these areas. And the Mughals, which were also founded by Persian or has Persian influence, yeah, they spread to India, whereas the other Persian conquerors or emperors, they spread their tradition to Central Asia here, which is why you see a lot of dome-like structure here, which is very Persian. And apart from the music, which is annoying because it is disrupting my narrative, this view here is fantastic. But let me give you a tour of this place here. This is my first time here as well here, and it is beautiful here. A lot of people come to Bukhara, they come to Khiva, they come to Samarkand. Man, this music is really annoying here. Let's get away from the music. The music is disrupting my narrative here. But it seems like everywhere I go, there's this annoying music playing here. This, I think it's just traditional music here. But a lot of these dome structures. Now I'm not really too sure if this is actually a modern reconstruction or that this whole area has been refurbished. But it seems brand new here. It doesn't seem like this is an ancient architecture here, because these are all like modern technology here. You can see here, right? It's hollow on the inside, but this whole complex here is fantastic. This is a shopping area here. You can say like a very posh shopping area here for people, for tourists definitely, not for the people of Turkestan, because the average salary here is about 500 USD. So this area here, I think this looks more like a modern construction here. It is a reconstruction, I believe, or recreation or reimagination of the past empire here, which during the Yasawi period, the founder of Yasawi Sufism here in Turkestan, which is very different from the Naqshbandiya and Chistiya of India and Uzbekistan. Now obviously the teachings of Yasawi, Ahmed Khoja, Yasawi actually influenced the Turkmens as well. And because of the practice of feeding the poor and not really aligning themselves with the political authorities here, the politicians, and so that attracts this part of the world here, the people are living in this part of the world here. But yeah, apart from the annoying music, this whole place is like a kingdom in itself here, entire dynasty here. But unfortunately, it is plagued by modern, I guess, modern capitalistic ideology here. Look at that golden dome there. I'm not sure what that is actually. Здравствуйте. У вас есть bubble tea?
Bubble tea есть, но без тапиоки.
Нет тапиока.
Без тапиоки.
Нет. Хорошо. Не хочу.
До свидания.
So they have bubble tea, but they don't have the bubble. The reason why I'm getting a bubble tea is so I can eat the bubble. But anyway, let's continue our exploration here. I think if those Airbnbs, the next time I'm here, I'll bring my relatives along and we can actually hire or rent a B&B here. Airbnb here would be nicer. These are modern buildings here. And you have access completely, this is the gate here. You have access to this fantastic building here. Look at these high ceilings, a high dome here, which is very prominent, especially in the masjid, because in the past that is how they used to project their voice here. But again, we enter here into the city, so-called city here. But I just can't get enough of these buildings here. They're really beautiful. Apologies if the footage is shaky here because I'm walking. But yeah, very beautiful here. It's much better to film during the day. I'll take in the sun for you guys. And I need the sun as well here. I've been in the aircon room for quite some time. But apart from the music, like I said, this is very, very fantastic. Очень красиво. So let's check out what's inside this golden dome here. It's a flying theater. Altun Samuruk. Let's check out here. What's this? Oh, it's a theater. Look at this. Oh, this is actually a cardboard here, or styrofoam here, so this is fake. This is definitely not the original here. This is fake. And this, yeah, these are not the ancient construction here. So this is a modern reproduction here, and all these murals here, they're actually, yeah, they're not. This wasn't how it was done. Actually, this is modern. Now that I know this is fake, this is not actually the real or what was produced many decades or centuries ago. And one thing you can tell here is that this is glass plastic glass here, which is a very cheap material, which the ancient doesn't have access to. And all this, even though this is a reconstruction or an attempt at a reconstruction here, obviously this is all new. You don't have that 800 years ago. But yeah, I'm now at the, I can't even read it. So we've decided to explore the museum here, and that is Farab Library. I think that is Al-Farabi's library, a very prominent figure, obviously. Al-Farabi, the philosopher, the Sufis, the mystics. This is across the streets there of the fake Turkestan center there. I say it's fake because it's new. But look at this wonderful architecture here, regardless whether it's brand new or if it's old here. But it's really interesting, really amazing.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Is that Al-Farabi's library?
Yes.
Wonderful.
You want to show?
Huh?
You want to show this?
I'll be there later.
Okay.
Do you work inside?
Yes.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
Bye.
So, look at all this architecture here, this building here. I'm not sure if that's an Airbnb here or if it's a hostel. If it's an Airbnb here, I want to stay here, man. next time, inshallah. But it looks like a hostel here, or I'm not sure what these buildings are. Maybe I should ask that lady here who works at the Al-Farabi's library here. But regardless whether it's brand new or if it's old here, but I'm pretty sure the mausoleum of Ahmed Khoja Yasawi is actually quite old here. It was built by Timur to honor the Sufi mystics here, which passed away in the 12th century. But Timur, the Amir Timur, the one that you found the statue in front of Hotel Uzbekistan, that Timur I'm talking about here, he actually built a mausoleum to honor the Sufi mystic here, which plays a very prominent role in the Yasawi Sufism in this part of the area here. Obviously, in the south, as I've mentioned, the south of the Kazakhstan area, they are more towards Naqshbandiya, but the people of the steppe, the Kazakh steppe here, they are more towards Yasawi. Man, I'm lost for words here. These buildings are amazing, they are interesting here. I'm not sure. I think that is, I should really look on Google here what these buildings are, but some places I do know about the history, but some places I come and I learn more about the history here, so it is amazing. I know that is the museum, but let's check out Al-Farabi's library here. Wow, so this is the library here. This is the ancient script here, I believe. The ancient script before they changed to the Latin script, and then they changed back to the Cyrillic script. I could be completely wrong here, but yeah, this is the ancient script there. In the 1920s, they changed to the Latin script, but then under the Soviet rule, they changed to the Cyrillic script. Turkestan, you say Turkestan. Beautiful building here, architecture-wise. Let's continue our tour here of Al-Farabi library here. Oh, this is the theater there. I just invade into people's theater here. But so this is the main section of the library here. Wow. Internet and cinema. Kazakh. Newspaper, all this. Oops. So this is the third floor here. Kairan Karatai. If you know what this means, let me know here. Let's see here. Very heavy book here, what we have here. A map. Some ancient warriors, Kazakh. I don't know what they're saying here. What an interesting book here. Look what I found here. Al-Farabi's book. Dialogue. I don't know what this is. This is a dialogue here. Look at all these potteries here, which would have been the materials that they used in the past here, and all these writings on clay tablets, kind of similar to the Sumerians, which they used clay tablets before the advent of papyrus, which later on became paper. In this part of the world, the steppe, they were still writing on these clay tablets here, whilst the Greco-Roman world were actually inventing papyrus, and much later on they were using the animal skin here, the vellums, the parchment and vellums here. But it wasn't until much later on whereby paper actually was actually redefined by the Central Asians, actually paper. And they improved the recipe of the Chinese paper, which uses mulberry paper, and they improved it. They add cotton to the paper, which increases its rigidity, its strength. But before all that, before the Central Asians actually does all that, they were still using this sort of clay tablets here to write. Obviously, this was before pre-Islamic times here, when this whole area was actually still indulging in shamanism, indulging in all sorts of different spirituality here. But it's really, really interesting here. I'm not sure if this is actually the original. They wouldn't display the original here because it is susceptible to like breaking and so on and so forth here. But there's a lot of history in just one of these few shelves here. Behind me is a very prominent mosque here in this part of the world. And as you can see here, as per all the other buildings in Turkestan, you find the blue dome. You find a very huge dome here. And if you follow my series in India, you can see that this is actually a continuation here, part of the Timurid dome here, because the Mughals actually took the influences from Timur, because Babur, the first Mughal emperor, believed that he was actually from the lineage of Timur here. Now historians doubt that in modern times, but anyway, we do not need to get into that debate here. But you can see here those blue domes here and those mini domes here. As you can see, I'm not sure how well you can see because I can't see from this camera myself too. But those minor domes here are actually influenced by the Arabic domes here, the Arabs. But those huge blue domes here are actually Persians. They're Persian influence here. And so it's very interesting here as you see all these buildings here and you can see the design here. It says here Kazakhstan Musulman Dari. I don't know what Musulmandari is, but I know Musulman is like Muslim. But let's check it out here. Doesn't say shoes off here. Oh, it's very slippery. Yeah, you can see here the blue dome. I'm shooting into the sun here, which is very terrible. Let's go find a better angle. I guess this is better here. This is the mosque here. You can see this blue dome here is a very core symbol of Timurid architecture here, which themselves were influenced by the Persians, because this part of the world, the Persians actually conquered here. And the Sassanid Empire, the later Persian Empire, even Alexander the Great was here. And so this part of the world is actually very prominent here. Those minor minarets here is very Arabic style, Arabic influence, but those huge domes here are those Timurid influence, they're Persian influence. Let's get some shot of the inside here. I'm not going to go in there because normally places of worship, it's not really nice to film here. But yeah. And like almost every other fortresses here, or buildings here of significant history, you always have a fountain in the courtyard here, because the fountain symbolizes peace and tranquility and calmness here, which suits the places of worship, especially the mosque here and mausoleums, so on and so forth here. In almost every places that has Persian influence here, you'll find fortresses here, which is why, or you might find fountains here, which is why in the Mughal dynasty you also found fountains, plenty of fountains. But unfortunately, these fountains have seen better days here. It's no longer working here. So let's support this place here so that they can actually keep this, all these historic moments here. They can keep this fountain running here. That's what I'm trying to say here. I'm stumbling for words. If you open here, we have our plov here, our samsa. Let's see here. It is open. It is open. Что это? Корова. Триква. Не знаю, что это.
Это не мясо.
О, не мясо. Это мясо. Один. Два черный чай, пожалуйста. So I've ordered the samsa here. Normally I eat with fork and spoon here, but I'm just gonna eat with my own bare hands here. The samsa here is very beautiful, very nice samsa. Really one of the best samsa I've tasted here. Turkestan samsa. So the plov here has arrived here. The plov here. You have tomato, you have pickles, you have beef, and you have this egg here. Eat it with samsa here is very interesting. This is the view of the mosque here from the side here. Very beautiful mosque here. Now I want to show you guys, which is something that is very typical of the Persian Nate, is those murals here, those Arabic murals here, which has to be actually planted one by one. It wasn't painted over here, it was planted one by one according to historians, and then it was pasted over here. And this is very different from the Hindus that were building the temples at the time here. But by the Hindus actually carved their inscriptions here into the wall here. But the Hindus would carve the inscriptions into the wall, but the very Persian, the very Timurid, they would actually paste the mosaic here. And so that is the difference here. And as you can see here, we have a garden here, and this is very Timurid as well. If you look at India as well, under the Mughal influences, under Shah Jahan, all the fortresses that he has built, even Akbar, they were patrons of garden here. They were like flowers here, and so on and so forth. So this is very Timurid influence here. I wanted to go to the museum here, but it seems that the museum is closed here. Nevertheless, the main attraction in this part of the area here is actually that building over there. This is the entrance here. Let's check it out here. They have souvenir shops here. Let's determine if this is brand new or not here. Yes, this is brand new. This is brand new. So I've stumbled upon this area here, which seems to be an archaeological site here. Now I wish I could get in. There must be a way to get in here. Perhaps this site is not open, but you can see here a lot of archaeological works are being done here. Yeah, this is rather interesting here. Those are probably ancient baths or something on the ground. If you know the history, let me know, because these are the sort of things that influence me as a lover of history to check out all these different places here in Central Asia, because I really like the history of Central Asia, and to be given the opportunity to visit Central Asia like this, to see these prominent buildings which has a lot of the Bukharan Timurid influence here. Because if you go to Bukhara, you also find blue domes architecture like this. Let me show you here. You find those are very prominent in Bukhara, in Khiva, and so yeah. And you can ride your camels. There's a camel right down there. Check out these mud bricks here, mud bricks wall here, which is the materials that the nomads of Kazakhs actually used to build their houses here. I'm not sure if this is actually original, because through rain, even though this part of the world don't get a lot of rain here, but through rain and so on and so forth, this would have actually crumbled down over the centuries here. Perhaps this has been restored here. But those are the iconic blue and green domes here. That is very prominent in Khiva, in Bukhara, and in Persia as well, Iran, so on and so forth. Places like Isfahan, Termes. And look at those majestic buildings there, monument. Man, you have to be here. This is Turkestan. You have to give Turkestan a chance here. A lot of people go to Bukhara, Khiva, Samarkand, and I've been to Bukhara and Samarkand, but a lot of people have not been to Turkestan here, and they should give Turkestan a chance here. And so hopefully this video will help you make your decision to actually come to Turkestan here, to influence you in some way. The Turkestan is much less crowded, it's cheaper, and I think it's much more grandeur here, though a lot of you guys might disagree here. But let's check this out, the Mausoleum of Rabia Sultan Begum. The Mausoleum, man, I'll just read the English, man. But let's check out, this is the Mausoleum of the Sultan Begum. Probably, I'm not sure who this is, but if you look at India, the Mughals' wife here, the emperor of the Mughals' wife, they was also called Begums. But apparently inside is the resting place of the wife of the Sultan here. And those are the very heathen Bukharan dynasty influences. You can see these are the original. Right, these are the original bricks here, even though I think this has been touched up over the years by different dynasties. You have a well there underneath. The details here, you should actually study the details here. Yeah, so these are very interesting. Not sure what's underneath here. Let me show you a 360 view here. Rabia Sultan Begum. Bay-E-T, I don't know. I'm not sure if I can film inside the mausoleum, mostly from my experience you can't. But from Indonesia, Singapore. Struktura original. So it was built during the 14th century, 15th centuries here. The mausoleum of Khoja Ahmed Yasawi here. This is the original structure. You can see a lot of these, probably those wooden planks which have been built to support the structure have crumbled down. The mausoleum of Khoja Ahmad Yasawi here has been a place for pilgrimage for Sufis that are under the Yasawi tradition or the Yasawi schools here. They will come here, they will make pilgrimage to their founder of the Yasawi Sufism movement here. And there's a lot of political, I would say, political tradition behind it, for the lack of a better word here. Whereby the Yasawi tradition were not really, attractive to the people of the Naqshbandi tradition, because they feel that the Yasawi tradition, which appeals more to the lower class citizens, the normal citizens, as compared to the Naqshbandiya, whereby it appeals to more of the people who are the middle class, the elites, the urban people, people who, according to their present day here, don't feel themselves as backwards and so forth here. But yeah, those are the political history here. And obviously you have the Chishti tradition in India here, which influenced a lot of the Delhi sultanates here. And these are the original structure here. You can enter, but let's check it out here. Those are the wooden planks here, which are actually being used to support the buildings here. And you can read here, Khoja Ahmed Yasawi. And these are the originals here. These are the original. And tubs have been put here to cover pigeon poops here, which has plagued this beautiful shrine here, mausoleum. Tourists?
No. I live in Turkestan.
You live in Turkestan?
No. In Kazakhstan. Yeah, in this city, yeah.
Yeah, this is Turkestan.
Yeah.
So you live here?
Yeah.
You're a local?
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Your English is good. Where do you learn English?
Okay. My English? Yes.
Yeah, where do you learn English?
I'm self-taught.
Do they teach you English in local schools in Kazakhstan?
A bit friendly. 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
So they teach and they don't teach? How is that possible?
Probably.
Do they understand English?
No, they don't. I'm practicing English, so.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
thank you.
No worries. Thanks for approaching me.
Appreciate it.
No worries. Well, how could I miss this? A stairs to heaven, it seems. How could I miss this? Let's see here. Let's see what we have here on top of this fort here. It was probably built to defend the people, the invading Bukharans would invade this area here. The Khokhans from east of present-day Uzbekistan, whereby they are rich, their hands would reach somewhere here. So this fort was probably built to defend this area here from the invading Bukharan armies, the Khokhan armies here, or possibly even later here. I'm not too sure when this was actually built here. So yeah, I believe archaeology has not touched this. perhaps there could be some underground secrets here as well. But let's explore here. You have this small here holes here whereby the soldiers can actually pierce the people who actually climb the walls here of the fortress, of the fort. If you remember, the Delhi Sultanate era, or especially the Tughlaq forts here, there are forts here, the walls of the fort is actually slanted, but this is very straight, very narrow. It's much easier for people or empires with siege mechanism here to actually infiltrate these walls here. And that could be the reason why those walls in front of there were actually tumbled down. But let's see here, this is very interesting fort here. But you have the view of the city here, of the garden, of the patio, which is very, very Timurid light here, Timurid light here. But yeah, this is a fantastic view here, of the fort here. About the soldiers who actually be fighting the people down here, if they actually invade here, this whole area. But yeah, let's see this view from this side here. Yeah guys, visiting all these historical sites here really helped me to understand these literatures, the very literatures that I read in books. And like they said, you will not be a true lover of history unless you actually travel, because as the prominent saying goes, those who have not read the books have not lived, but those who have read the books but have not gone to visit all these different places that they read about in the books, they are the ones who have not truly lived. This is very majestic. Those blue Persian domes here, those were actually blue, but over time became green, greenish blue here. Where are you from? China? 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 China, Korea? China, Korea? China. China. China, China. China, China. China, China. 你好嘛，你好嘛。你好，你好，你好。你好 China, China. China, China. China, China. So we have a bunch of Chinese tourists here, climbing up the fort here. Alright, alright. Let's go down here and not fall and break our leg. Selling this. You're selling this. Сколько стоит? Сколько стоит? А? Сот. Для тебя хорошо. Нет, нет, нет. Да. Много парки, да, это дерево.
С коррупцией беда. С коррупцией погубит.
Плохая ситуация, много коррупции. So every single hotel that I go to always have this problem. 5-star hotel or 4-star hotel.